Alright. Vanessa Carlton's 1,000 miles is on repeat as 11-year-old Emma walks through the Sherman Oaks Mall with her many girlfriends. Limited 2 shopping bags in hand as they pass each other, the same Victoria's Secret lip gloss in birthday cake flavor, all perfectly put together in their Catholic school uniforms. Wow, she must have been so cool. Yeah, well, you're so wrong. 11-year-old Emma was the opposite of cool. In fact, she was actually known for being the least cool. At one point, she was ranked last on a list of 25 girls ranked in order from coolest to not. 11-year-old Emma was the nerdy theater girl who was always picked last in kickball games despite her having the best kick in the entire class, and was only ever invited to birthday parties when it was an obligation from the parents that everybody be invited. She was not exactly the girl of every 5th grade boy's first wet dream with her size 28 AAA boobs and her unibrow the size of Tom Selleck's mustache. No, Brittany Green, on the other hand, was. Brittany was the shortest girl in our class of 50. Her uniform was always tailored perfectly, and she had the coolest headband accessories, and her mom even let her wear mascara. Not to mention she was ranked number 1 on the list of cool girls. I guess being short was the hottest trend among mascara and headbands. She was every boy's dream, and especially Connor Kane. Connor Kane was this athletic, blonde hair, blue eyes boy who excelled at every sport. He was the type of guy who would go on later in life to get a Jesus tattoo on his right calf. With all of the girls and boys ignoring my freckled covered face, I did have one good friend, Greta, who never seemed to judge any of my flaws that all of the other kids picked on. In fact, Greta was able to maintain a relationship with the popular kids and get away with hanging out with little old me. Or tall old me. Greta and I were neighbors. So almost every weekend we planned to have a sleepover and would switch between each other's homes. She was my best friend, and hanging out with her made me feel included. It made me feel like part of the crowd despite the lack of effort from the rest of my classmates. One weekend in December, Greta and I were having one of our weekly slumber parties. She spent all night engaging in reckless activities like going down my staircase in sleeping bags and trying not to suffocate ourselves, and giving my American Girl dolls makeovers, making sure to always put mascara on their eyelashes because maybe if Samantha wore mascara, she'd make it to number 1 on the cool girls list. But usually Greta and I would stick to our Harry Potter themed computer games, and we'd take turns one after another defeating Lord Voldemort. But once we found out that Neopets and Club Penguin were what all the popular kids were doing, we ventured on the Internet Explorer. As we were battling our way through Hannah and the Pirate Caves, Greta turns to me. Connor Kane gave me the password to his email. What? Why? I don't know. He said he trusted me and wanted me to have it. Okay. Should we see who he's emailing? Well, naturally, this sounded like a great idea. I mean, I'd finally get a taste of what it's like to be popular by living vicariously through Connor. We log onto our school's website, and Greta quickly types in Connor's username and password. The inbox is empty. Empty, that is, besides a few chain mail letters that Brittany and Connor had been sending back and forth to each other to avoid 20 years of bad luck. Oh my god, they were totally flirting. Should we send an email? I mean, no one would know it was us. We could say anything and they'd think it was him. Plus, Connor obviously liked Brittany, so why not give him the courage that he clearly lacked to say what he wanted? I mean, we would be helping him out. I take the keyboard from Greta and I start typing. Hey Brittany, I've been holding this in for a really long time, but I can't hold it in any longer. I really want to play 7 Minutes in Heaven with you. Love, Connor. What's 7 Minutes in Heaven? I don't know, actually. I just know it's a game older kids play when they like each other. We press send and we wait for a response. Nothing. 5 minutes goes by, and then 30, and then an hour. We return to Neopets and wait to hear the ding of an incoming message, and nothing happens. How anticlimactic. The following Monday at school, everyone is buzzing with gossip. Did you hear what Connor sent to Brittany? 7 minutes in heaven, that's so high school. I see Brittany and Connor talking outside the computer lab and they look really serious. Hey guys, is everything okay? And you're a business nerd. As they turn and walk away, I grimace. Because for once, whether or not they know it, I'm on the inside. I'm included this time. Later that day, our teacher, Mr. R, stops our daily math practice to give an important announcement. It has come to my attention that one of your classmates has had his email hacked into and had inappropriate emails sent to his classmates from it. This is illegal, you are cyberbullying, and the culprit can face real consequences. If anyone has any idea who may have committed the crime, I encourage you to come forward and speak to me after class. Mr. R makes direct eye contact with me, which I maintain because I'm an actor, and naturally I'm not going to fool. However, on the inside I'm not as strong. I had no idea what Greta and I had done over the weekend was a crime. I mean, why would Connor have given her his password in the first place? Am I going to jail? Can elementary school students go to juvie? I sit there anxiously and take in my potential future and life in prison if I were to come forward with the truth, but it felt like I'd already been caught. So after class, I asked Mr. R if I can talk to him. Mr. R, I know who sent the email. Greta had spent a night at my house over the weekend and told me she had Connor's password. We were just having fun. I didn't know I was going to hurt him. Mr. R escorts me to the principal's office, as if I'm already a prisoner. When I arrive, Greta's already sitting there with Mrs. Park, who had been my 4th grade teacher just a year ago, and she looks at me disappointed as if this is only a mistake that 10-year-olds make. Emma, before you got here, Greta told me that you were the one who had Connor's password and convinced her it would be a good idea to email Brittany. Wait, what? Greta won't look at me. In fact, she continued to not look at me for the 2 years that preceded that until she transferred schools. And naturally, because she was already tight with the popular kids, everyone believed that I, in fact, was this criminal who had so terribly brainwashed this sweet girl who everyone loved into sending in wildly inappropriate emails. I thought we would be in this together, but I'm reminded that I'm alone. I'm given a white slip, which in elementary school is pretty much the worst punishment you can get. Not because the white slip actually means anything or has any consequences, but everybody knows you have a white slip, and that's pretty much as humiliating and shameful as it gets. Greta, on the other hand, slips by with a warning. Later on, when I try to apologize to Connor and Brittany separately and explain my side of the story, neither of them want to hear it. They'd already made up their minds that I was the villain, and all I wanted was to feel like I was on the inside once again, and I was reminded that I would always be the outsider. I was the Voldemort of the 5th grade, who had lost her only friend. When my dad picked me up from school, he looked at me and asked me what happened, and I explained my side of the story, and he takes a deep breath. Being made out to be the villain is not easy. Reality sometimes is merely an illusion, and our own self-awareness is the magic spell to pierce it. Master the art of knowing yourself, and you can see the spells and enchantments cast on others. Yeah, my dad's pretty cool.